Hello, this is Josh Hunter, presently in the city of Santa Monica, California. And so last night, I'm charging my electronic devices at it's right across the street from that restaurant called Meat. And some dudes come up to me and they're like, "I'm gonna charge here." And I don't know. I'm just not. Obviously, I could try and like not charge in places that are so overt, but there's like a whole like I don't know. There's like a diplomacy to all this or something. Anyway, so these guys were talking, and I got the sense that I don't know. It's like the issue is not necessarily people shouldn't be able to charge right next to me. They shouldn't plug in or whatever. The issue is like when these guys come up to me, like when they ask me for a cigarette, when they ask me for cell phone, obviously when they're trying to steal things from me, the dominant feeling is your feelings about this don't matter. Okay. Now, I didn't want the guy to charge her, and anybody who comes up to me while I'm charging, it is my preference that you don't charge right next to me. And, this guy just kind of bulldozed his way through. And, I try not to be the type of person who bulldozes. And, I was pretty sure like I was being hustled, is what I'm saying. Not in any like overt way, but like a distance hustle. Like someone's like trying to hustle me from a distance. And like I wasn't a fan. I've been through this tons of times because when people start like flattering me, like saying, "Oh, you're this, you're that," like because we had a conversation or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, you're so," they said all the same things that all these guys say when they're lying. It's like, "Oh, dude, you're a really cool guy. Like you're neat. Oh, fucking watch out for this guy. Like he's a real champion. This guy." Like it's such an unbelievable thing. And I wonder what could they. Because I didn't have anything to offer. Like there was nothing, so they must have had a sense of like something else. Sometimes people get a sense of when you're going to get something, and they just kind of get in the way. And I've had it happen enough times to where I'll let the numbers take care of it. Anyway, it reminded me distinctly that most of my close associations have essentially just been pranks. It's like it's like we're good friends. We're good friends, or you're family, and then like, "Oh, gotcha, we're not." oh, you thought we were friends. You thought we were like really cool. Yeah, we're not. And it doesn't upset me. I don't. Having like everyone that you have ever known, essentially that those associations are basically just a prank. It's not terribly bothersome because I've kept to myself most of my life, and so I've never allowed myself to get too close anyway. But later on that night, I had this dream that I was hanging out with these like very wealthy people, and they were it was like I don't know, like it was wealthy people, and it wasn't like it was like it wasn't like just one wealthy family. It was a wealthy family and all their wealthy friends. But for some reason in this dream, like I was a Native American, like a Native American, like 100% Native American. And I even saw like another Native American at this party or whatever. It's like, "Oh, dude, another Native American. That's sweet." And these anyway, like I just felt like very accepted. Like it was like the distinct feeling was, I can't believe that I'm spending time with people like where our association isn't a prank. Like, and I woke up like a little teary-eyed. I was a little teary-eyed. I'm like, is it even possible that I could be spending time with someone and it not be like a prank, like where it's just like, oh, this is, we actually believe that you exist, and we're not, like, this isn't a game. And it was just kind of nice. Anyway, so I've been getting this. I've been getting the sense that like some ladies think that, oh yeah, I definitely want to date this guy, Josh Hunter. Like I think like he's a cool guy. Like I want to spend time with him. Like I'm trying to communicate that like right now I'm pretty much in a very selfish state. Like I said, my goal in life is to like hang out at home, watch lots of movies and television, drink alcoholic beverages, lots of alcoholic beverages, play video games. PS5, PS4, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2, Xbox One, maybe a little Xbox 360, depends on if it's backwards compatible. And I'll try the Nintendo Switch as well. And like that's pretty much all I want to do. And any lady who's like, oh, well, I want to be with you, I want to be close, you got to realize like I don't have the patience to put up with the type of bullshit that you have to put up with when you're in a relationship. Like the things that you just forgive it because it's like, oh, we're in a relationship, so you gotta concede. Like I'm not in the mood to concede. I don't want to concede anything. Like what's that comedian Schlesinger or something? I don't Ilsa Schlesinger or whatever. I was watching her stand up. I was watching her stand up and her stand up comedy special, and she was saying like how sometimes ladies will just get in a fight just to get in a fight. Like that's, well, we don't really mean it. We just want to get into a fight. Like I have not even a little bit of patience for that. Like I can't stand it. Like it's such a foolish thing to do. Like it's such an inherently foolish thing to do, and I don't like it. I don't like I've already been in too many fights. I haven't been in any physical fights, but I've been in emotional fights, mental fights. If I'm being cheesy, let's say I've been in spiritual fights too. Poltergeist too. Know what I mean? But I don't know. So I'm just trying to that's one of the reasons why I keep myself filthy. Like I don't take showers. I'm 300 pounds. I don't even dress up this YouTube. I don't even adjust my thumbnails. Even like when I got like a really goofy or bad angle look on my thumbnail, like I still just leave it that way. So something to tell you like, hey, like I'm not like the only type of girlfriend that I could have at this point is like a slave. Like if you want to be like a slave, like do exactly what I say, and if you don't do what I say, like you're gone or you're in some situation where we're nowhere near each other in any way, shape, or capacity. So I just want to give you fair warning, because right now I'm still in a position to care about your feelings. If I get into a position where I'm not like overly concerned about people's feelings, like I want to be like distant. So I just want to give fair warning, because if I tell you now, then you can't say like, oh, well, I didn't know that you were type. No, you should know exactly what type of person I am. And so like if a lady, before you start catching feelings or whatever, I want to make sure that you've had fair warning that I'm not, I will not put up with nonsense. Like nonsense, like getting into a fight just because you want to fight. Like we're not cats and dogs. That's what cats and dogs do. Okay? Like that's what cats and dogs do. You say you're a human being. You say you're a part of civilized society. You say you don't want to do what animals do. When a person does some violent, vicious thing, you say that's an animal. What animals? That's what you say when someone does something particularly, absurd. Like particularly violent. You say, what an animal. And when you start doing that thing, like, oh, I'm just fighting just because I'm bored. I'm bored, so I want to fight. That, like, once or twice, like, all right. But if you keep doing that, like, that's how you cause insanity. That, like, where does insanity come from? Shit like that. So, I just wanted to give fair warning to ladies who, despite all of my greatest efforts, are still like, oh yeah, no, this is the guy. Like, I want to fucking be with this guy. If you want to be with me, then you better want to be like a slave, like that, like a slave to me, to be my slave. You know, because I'm not. I don't have time. I don't have the patience to put up with senseless, pointless nonsense. Like just things that are so easily avoidable, things that don't have to happen, and things that only happen because you were bored. Things that only happen because you decided that you didn't want to think, that you didn't want to use your brain. Things that only happen because you allowed yourself to be swayed by your feelings instead of using the experience that was given to you as a human being to solve and conquer these issues. I have no patience for that. So if that's the way you want to be, you better keep your distance from me. Like, I don't even need friends like that, honestly. So I was just reminded of this because these guys come up to me and they're reminding me, like, oh, like these guys are pretending to be my friends. Like, I don't even have anything that you guys would want to steal from me. Like, what is there? Like, what are you guys planning to steal? You must be planning to steal something from me, you know? And they come up to me, they're like, oh, you're a really neat guy. You're really cool. I'm like, I don't fucking believe this. Because why don't I have even one friend? If I'm a really cool guy, why don't I have a bed to sleep on? So, and then I had that dream which gave me the contrast. You know, it's like, oh, it's a relationship, an association that wasn't a prank. Alright. I'm 34 years old, and I've got the best grades